This week I'm flying back to Madrid. Talk about glutton for punishment, but I'm doing it for a reason, and that reason is that British Airways lay on the Club Suite on a wide-body aircraft for one flight a day, and it's one of the cheapest ways to enjoy a fully lie-flat bed. So come with me as I show you the lounge, the Club Suite, and the onboard catering. Surely this is the best business class hack around.
Good morning from the rooftops of Terminal 5 here at Heathrow, and today we're flying down to Madrid in Club Europe, that's their business class, with British Airways, and normally this would be a pretty unremarkable flight. It would be comfortable for sure, but normally we'd be on one of those A320 or A321 narrow bodies. But like over my left shoulder, that's a 787, today we're flying on a wide-body 777-200, and British Airways started listing these flights in April with the 777-200 down to Madrid, and I don't really know why. I can only assume it's got something to do with cargo. But nevertheless, we're taking advantage of it. So today we're flying down to Madrid in the delights of British Airways' Club Suite aboard the Boeing 777.
I'd stayed the night before in a Heathrow hotel, so just needed to head over to Terminal 5 using their free shuttle service. It's a pretty reliable option in my opinion, and not only is it free, it gets you from Heathrow's central bus station up to Terminal 5 in under 5 minutes. Once inside, you'll need to head over to Zone A, which is immediately on the left. This is where the British Airways dedicated Club Europe and Club World business class check-in desks are located. Your business class ticket also entitles you to access fast-track security here. There's a north and a south entrance, but the north is the one that's located closest to the club check-in desks. You can also enter fast-track security if you're flying Iberia in business class, or if you have the relevant BA Club, Iberia or One World status. Definitely make use of it if you can.
So all through security, all sorted, and going to go and hunt out the Galleries Lounge. So over my left shoulder now, or more your right, is the North Lounge, the Galleries North Lounge. It looks quite quiet. Now in the central area is the huge Galleries Lounge, which is where the first lounge is and the concourse room is. So we're going to head down there first, see if that's busy. If not, we'll get back to the North Lounge. But really good today. Obviously the fast track security is always helpful. A little bit slow, but nothing too bad. 5 minutes, just under 10 minutes between somewhere there, so not too bad at all really, but going to get in the Galleries Lounge. I am in need of a coffee, to be fair. It's not too much of an early start, this one. It's a 12:20 departure, but yeah, always in need of a coffee, me.
I do still love the entrance to the South Galleries Lounge, and suspended high from the ceiling is the famous kinetic sculpture called Cloud. It was installed by multidisciplinary art group Troika, and I could admittedly watch it for hours. When it's working, that is. Inside, I was greeted with a digital display board, which placed the Galleries, or Club South Lounge as it's now known, at 80% occupancy. Not a great start for my visit. Underneath the signature logo is this unique display of model aircraft, from the famous BOAC 747 jumbo jet to a Lockheed TriStar, to a display of its more modern fleet, including the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. I then headed upstairs to the lounge, where its flagship A380 and famous horse is proudly displayed. But once inside, it was more like 100% at capacity, rather than 80%, and finding a seat proved very difficult. So I decided it was time to enact my backup plan.
So just leaving the South Lounge, the South Galleries, because it is rammed. It reckons it's 75% capacity, but like the guys on the gates have just said as you walk in, absolutely no way. It's completely and utterly rammed, every seat practically taken. A bit disappointing because obviously British Airways made those changes to the BA Club to increase lounge capacity. Obviously that's not worked, because I know that they're now allowing people to retain it with such a low amount of tier points. They're actually bumping people back up to status. And I've got no issue with that really. I just think to myself, don't try and do something with a view to saying it's going to fix a problem and then it doesn't, and then you actually then take steps to reverse that decision anyway. So really busy. So my tip always is, if you're travelling from the B gates, go down to the lounge there, they're often quieter. The north does tend to be quieter, so we're going to pop back up to the north gates and have a little gander there. Hopefully that might be a bit quieter. Okay, change of plan. So north looked a little bit busy as well, but then I was looking on Flight Radar 24, tracking the flight in from Boston, which is that 777 that we're getting over to Madrid, and it looks, fingers crossed anyway, it looks like it's departing from the B gates because it's taxied in there. The beauty and saviour that is Flight Radar 24. So I'm going to head over. There is a B lounge, a B galleries lounge that British Airways operate, and I'm hoping, normally the case is pretty quiet, so I'm hoping we can get in there, chill out, and then finally I'll take you on a lounge tour. Well, what a contrast from going from standing up over at the A gates, the South Galleries Lounge, to having my own little sofa and having to whisper as well because it's very, very quiet in here. It is the epitome of calm, so a great hack if you're ever travelling. I always say, and I've done it all in the past, obviously the first time it's appearing on the channel, but I always say to everybody, if you can get down to the B gates lounge, the Galleries Lounge here, it's much quieter, so definitely do that if you're travelling in the future. Then you can just pop back up to the A gates if you're departing from there. Just make sure you leave yourself a bit of time for the shuttle, but you know, it's much better and much quieter. For the channel, I did try to get us obviously into the Galleries South Lounge and the Galleries North Lounge, both of them very, very busy, especially that Galleries South Lounge over at the A gates. That was full capacity, and when I walked in, the agent said you're going to struggle to get a seat. Most people are just standing up now. So got on the shuttle, thanks to Flight Radar 24 showing me my aircraft departing from here today. It means I can relax and know that pretty much I can take it to the wire and just walk out of the gates with 10-15 minutes to go before I board. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a full tour of the B Gates Galleries Lounge, operated by British Airways.
The lounge enjoys sweeping views, so great for the inner av geek, and there's also plenty of different seating areas to kick back and relax. There's also a dedicated luggage storage counter too. On offer is grind coffee alongside a wide range of Birchall teas. There's also this hydration station with Brita filtered water on demand. In the central bar area, you'll find fridges full of chilled sodas and mixers, alongside tomato and cranberry and apple and orange juices. There's also a fridge full of chilled beers. Bottega White and Rosé Prosecco was on offer, alongside a bucket of ice chilled rosé and white wines, and a selection of reds too. Finally, there's this very long wall of help yourself spirits with everything from whiskies to rums, brandies to gin, and much more. There's cocktail premixes on offer, and all the accompaniments for a Bloody Mary if you so prefer. The lounge is also amidst a Whispering Angel sponsorship, so you can enjoy this lovely display of wine bottles, but more importantly, a tipple of the good stuff, if that's your poison. There were bar snacks available alongside a selection of cereals, and this breakfast platter with fresh ham and cheeses, to sliced grapefruit, these awesome fresh apricots, 3 different types of diced melon, fresh oranges, grapes, and these help yourself strawberry and natural yoghurt bowls. There was toast and English muffins available with a wide range of spreads and preserves, alongside a huge bowl of hot porridge, fresh croissants and panna raisins as well. There was also this cinnamon bun station. Count me in. Next to this was a cook to order station offering lots of different things, from waffles with chicken and maple syrup, breakfast muffins, bagels and sandwiches, alongside a hot offering of sausages, bacon, hash browns, baked beans, scrambled eggs, mushrooms, and grilled tomatoes, if a full English is what you're after. There's more seating towards the back, press reader on offer to access newspapers and magazines, and lots of wireless charging ports too. For my breakfast, I opted for some strawberry yoghurt with fresh apricots and granola, a sausage, egg and cheese muffin, and an apple juice with lime, and an Americano with milk. The only downside was the toilets. They're very clinical and designed poorly with stainless steel everywhere. They almost feel a bit hospital-like in nature. The only saving grace though was the Elemis toiletries.
So all out the Galleries Lounge and heading down to our gate, B44, over to Madrid. Flight Radar 24, not only did it save my life this morning getting me into a quieter lounge, but it was also correct. Very rarely does Flight Radar 24 fail you. So going to get down to the gate, B44, and we'll board this Boeing 777 down to Madrid.
And flying us down to Madrid today is this near 26-year-old Boeing 777-200, which was delivered to British Airways back in November of 2000. It's pretty unusual for such a wide body to be allocated a route like this. When travelling in business class on this route, you'll be placed into priority boarding, which is Group 1.
So we just sat at the gate, and it seems, possibly at this moment in time, the curse may have finally caught up with me after over a year of this channel. I have a sneaky suspicion this flight is about to get cancelled. Crew came down, they started boarding children, getting them in kind of ready to board, called Group 0, and then all the crew have come back up, and there's lots of engineering people around the aircraft. All the crew have just been sent away, which, having worked for British Airways, I know isn't a good sign. So yeah, maybe the curse has finally caught up with me after all these years. Who knows? Let's see what happens. Let's remain positive. But yeah, having done so many videos on the channel and not encountered a cancelled flight yet, I think I've done pretty well, but it would be such a shame if they do cancel it. If they do cancel it, this video then turns into a how do BA handle it and what happens next, because I've got a flight tomorrow morning from Madrid Barajas, so I've got to get there. Let's see what happens.
I then got a text from British Airways at 11:40 stating that my flight was to be delayed by 110 minutes and our new departure time to Madrid was going to be 1:30.
Well, hope isn't lost just yet. The British Airways Control Centre, doing their best to keep the schedule on track, have moved us to a new aircraft and a new gate. So over to B34, late aircraft swap. Just goes to show the amazing teams in the background that try and keep the timetable running as good as they can. So I'm assuming they're going to bump us onto that flight, and this aircraft we're now stealing would be somebody else's this afternoon, and they kind of manage that knock-on effect as best they can. But yeah, we are off to gate B34 to try and find our replacement aircraft. Hopefully it's still Club Suites. Who knows at this stage?
And here's our new plane, also a Boeing 777-200, which was delivered to British Airways in April of 2001, making it just over 25 years old.
Well, good afternoon and welcome aboard the Club Suite aboard the Boeing 777-200. Finally, just finally, we got there. Before we boarded this aircraft, there was just another announcement to say there was another engineering check going on board this aircraft. But it's all sorted and all good to go. We are aboard BA's workhorse fleet, the 777, and flying down to Madrid shortly. In fact, the last boarding's just taking place as we speak. So I'm going to get settled in. It's a little bit different for me. Normally, if I was flying Club Europe down to Madrid, I'd be used to the 1-1 with the middle seat blocked on that small narrow body service, but today a fully lie flat bed. It seems a little bit OTT for a 2-hour flight, but hey, you'll never ever hear any complaints from me. So let me get settled in and I'll take you on a full seat tour of this Club Suite product aboard British Airways' Boeing 777.
I'm on the last row of business class today in seat 7A, which comes with a white embroidered seat cover and impressive legroom. It really is brilliant, with plenty of space to move around. BA's IFE weighs in at an impressive 18.5 inch in full HD, and there's also overhead reading lights, but no personal air vents on this particular aircraft type. There's a secondary reading light located behind your seat that presses outwards, and to the left is an array of different storage areas for your items. I do like a seat with plentiful storage. In the main section is where you'll find the IFE remote, a USB-A socket and AC power adapter, plus a further USB port and headphone jack towards the left. Behind your shoulder is another storage area which opens out to reveal a full-size mirror. The tray table slides down away from the IFE and folds out, and it's an impressive size. On this particular route, BA still provide noise-cancelling headphones for your use, and there's a manual window blind, leather arm area on the left of the seat, touchscreen seat controls and a movable armrest on the right-hand side. All in all, it makes for a very comfortable seat. Now, the negatives. Elements of this seat were absolutely battered. The panels were worn down and bare, and my storage cupboard had a humongous scratch which, let's admit it, was very unsightly. But those little snags aside, I popped my seatbelt on and we started our pushback out of London Heathrow's Terminal 5. Well, we are firmly in the climb. Listen to the roar of those Rolls-Royce engines. Absolute beauties. And of course, pretty near to where I live is the Rolls-Royce factory. The Rolls-Royce factory is in Derby. So yeah, always nice when you see those. But announcements being made. I'm battling against announcement sounds and also the Rolls-Royce sort of humdinger climb out sound from Heathrow. But really quick takeoff today because obviously not a full load on this 777. So we rotated pretty quickly actually, much more quicker than I expected. So that's what happens when you've got one of these humongous aircraft and they're not very full. So I'd say the Club Europe, or we're going to go Club World. Let's go Club Europe because that's the factual correctness of it. Cabin is about 70% full. And not had a chance to look into World Traveller, which is their economy cabin. However, I do need to talk before we start the service about a couple of things. And when I booked this flight, I booked it as a Club Europe business class ticket. Now, all the Club Europe seats, the Club suite that I'm in now, were full. So I just assumed, look, that I'm assuming some of the seats may have been blocked out or more will release when we get to the check-in part of the process. And they didn't. So I was asked to select a seat in what is called the World Traveller Plus cabin. However, that's premium economy to you and I, and would still receive the same business class service. And I think between me and you, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree, that's a bit of a poor offering by BA. I appreciate this aircraft isn't used on these short-haul intra-European hops, it's a long-haul product. But if we're all paying the same money or all the same Avios, I think there's a little disparity if I'm sat in the Club Suite and someone today now is sat in World Traveller Plus in Premium Economy. I think that is a little bit cheeky. Also, the price to select the seat is exactly the same. Anywhere from £28 to £34. I picked £34 for this particular seat. So yeah, I think that's a little bit of a poor show from BA, something that could possibly be looked at. Initial impressions though, I've flown the Club Suite, it's got a special place in my heart, but as you can see, I can't deny this particular Club Suite on this 777-200 is battered and is showing some real signs of wear, so that's definitely something I've noted. But yeah, we're pretty much climbing out now and levelling off, so I will get settled. I can see a few crew milling in the galley. I did buy 2 bags of Percy pigs for the crew, that went down like a treat. The big bags as well, nearly 1 kilogram of pepper pigs for these 12 crew to get through, but I thought, they've had to experience a bit of a delay to their day as well, and they're working it. All I'm doing is sitting here and eating. So the crew are lovely, really friendly. Let's see what we get on this flight down to Madrid in this very comfortable club suite. I thought now was a good time to take a look at BA's Club Suite IFE, and it's completely touchscreen. It operates with some lag upon startup, but seemed to perform pretty faultlessly after that. There's a great array of films on offer, including some recent Hollywood blockbusters that are still in the cinema, and they also seem to have listened to the feedback and started loading full TV series again. No more getting into one episode and that's it, which is really good. There's also an array of games, BA's Skyflyer offering for the children, and the moving map, which you can port to the small remote too. I do like this feature. I then popped on BA's noise cancelling headphones, which are a bit ropey to say the least. I wouldn't say they were that good, and the levels of noise cancelling were poor, which brings us nicely to a pause for this week's sponsor.
So I want to pause this week's video to tell you about a product, but it's a product that's going to change your sleeping routine for sure, and it's changed mine for the absolute better. These are the Fitnexa SomniPods 3, and I know what you're thinking, oh, another sleep aid. No, genuinely, trust me when I say they really have changed my routine. And I can say that considering that I'm very fortunate enough now to travel the world and take some of the longest commercial flights in the world, not always in the beauty and confines of a business class bed. Sometimes I'm slumming it in the back in economy, and that's often where jet lag creeps into my routine. I've recently taken 11 flights in 15 days across 8 different time zones, hence the bags under my eyes. But the SomniPods 3 helped me get back to a better sleeping routine and much quicker. They've actually beat my jet lag quicker than any normal remedy would, which would be staying on the same time zone or just trying to sleep with your normal headphones on and a bit of white noise. These bad boys drown out all the sound and get you into the most comfortable sleeping routine you'll ever experience. They are just super good, and I don't say that lightly. You guys know I don't do many of these little features, so this one is a really special product. So they've been designed to sit inside your eardrum discreetly, and they don't cause any pain or anything like that. They just sit discreetly inside your eardrum. You don't feel even that they're in your ear. And if you're a side sleeper, they're absolutely made for you. You can lie on your side with them in. They've got an ANC, which is a audio noise cancelling feature, and that drowns out most of the surround sound in the room, any kind of background noise. But if you want to pair it with the Fitnexa app, which I do, you get access to a catalogue of sounds like ocean sounds or white noise or brown noise. And I've been using the brown noise feature, and the husband literally said I've been drifting off in under 10 minutes. So they've changed the game for me. I used them last night in this airport hotel, got a fantastic sleep. We're now in the middle of the flight, although I'm recording this before the flight. A little bit of a chronological issue this week. And I'm about to put the SomniPods 3 to test on board this flight and see if they perform just as well in the air as they do on the ground.
So in the absence of any kind of pillows, I'm going to still get the bed into fully lie flat mode, but probably asleep in fully lie flat mode might be out of the question now, considering the flight time is so quick, 1:55 down to Madrid today, and we're already 15 minutes in. So I want to say to you about the Fitnexa SomniPods 3. They're great on the ground, but do they perform as good in the air? So let's put them in and see how they are. I've got to be so careful because I could be shouting into the cabin right now. These are incredible. That has cut so much of that engine noise out, that kind of humming sound. That is absolutely sensational. Oh, I fell in love with them. They're so good. I'm not going to take any journey now without them. They're really good. So if you're in the market for something that's great for sleep, great to cut some of that sound out on the aircraft, but also I've been thinking to myself, if you're a bit of a nervous flyer, pop these in because they'll take some of that edge off, take some of the sound away, give you a bit more of a calming environment. These could be your ticket to getting over your fear of flying too. Right, let's crack on with the review. So I can see the crew milling in the galley, they're coming down with the drink service now. On the ground they did a pre-order, and one of the gentlemen next to me said, oh, did we not get a drink on the ground? And obviously they had to kind of explain the service differentiators because they're still running it as a Club Europe service, so there's no pre-departure drink or anything like that. You also don't get any bedding or pillows or cushions or anything. You do get the headphones, the noise-cancelling headphones, but yeah, they took a pre-order of a drink on the ground and I went for a San Miguel beer. So yeah, I'm assuming that's on the way. My pre-ordered San Miguel beer arrived alongside a packet of Belazzu's salted rosemary snack mix. Have BA finally done away with the sour cream pretzels? I'm sure you can hear the excitement in my voice. Praise be if they have. And these were really tasty, a perfect accompaniment to what was an ice-cold beer. It was really nicely chilled and just goes to show there's more to life than sour cream snacks. So that's the meal service concluded, and a really solid offering of 3 options from British Airways on this Madrid flight. So if you didn't fancy a hot dish, there was a cold feta cheese salad with olives. It was a kind of offering if you didn't want to have something hot. But I thought I'd go for the hot meal. So there was 2 options. The first one was a vegetarian rigatoni with tomato and cheese, a kind of pretty standard vegetarian dish, but it seemed to look like the same dish that Turkish Airlines served on their flight from Heathrow to Istanbul. But it looked great, my neighbour had it and it looked really good. But for me, I went for the shepherd's pie. That was with a red wine and thyme gravy and piped crispy potatoes on top. And it was really, really tasty. Now that was served with a side of a white bread roll, a white crispy bread roll that was warmed in the oven with Welsh salted butter. Really tasty. And then dessert was this kind of, I don't really know how to say really, it was almost like a deconstructed apple crumble. So there was like a white chocolate apple mousse cream type textured thing and that was paired with an apple compote with cinnamon and some crumble on top, and that's signature Dough & Co dark chocolate sort of disc they pop on all their little plated desserts. So that was really, really tasty. So all in all, a really solid offering from BA. 3 dishes served on a flight under 2 hours in length. I think the crew have really come together and done wonders really. It was a really nice service. I've not been left alone. I've been constantly asked if I want top-ups. At one point, the in-flight manager, Doug, came round and dropped off these cans of San Miguel, which kept multiplying. I had 3 lined up at one point, still got another one next to me. But it's just that level of hospitality that I think British Airways do best. And when they do exceed, and I've always said in the past, they're a very inconsistent brand. And I still stand by that. I think they're getting better. I think, things are improving. But when you get BA on a good day, you really get the best. And this is one of those examples. The crew are really working hard together, and every single person in this Club Suite cabin, this Club World cabin, is being looked after. So it's nice to see. So I think for me next, I'm going to get this bed into a fully lie-flat mode. We'll give it a twirl. I think a slight disappointment is the fact they don't even offer you a pillow or a cushion on a route of this size. I don't think anybody would be expecting a mattress topper on a full turn-down service, but I think a little cushion or a pillow would go down well. But yeah, let's give that a test, and that's coming up next. So, the bed is in fully lie-flat bed mode. Like I said, slightly disappointed at British Airways for not offering a kind of cushion or a pillow on this route. Nobody expects that full turn-down service, but yeah, I think something would go, because this area here is quite, as you can hear, quite solid. So you have to go fully lie-flat to get the full benefit from it. But yeah, it's always been a comfortable bed, the Club Suite. It's really spacious. You can close the suite door as well if you want to here. I'm not going to, but you can close it if you wish. Yeah, so I'm really impressed. The toilets were clean, but certainly in need of an overhaul. Just look at the colour of this sink. There was also white company amenities available for business class passengers, and also shaving outlets if you so needed. So that's pretty much it for this flight. We're all strapped in. 30 minutes to go before we touch down into Madrid. We're about an hour 50 behind schedule. Obviously with that delay with the aircraft changing, the first aircraft going tech and having to re-cater and reload this aircraft, it obviously set us quite far behind. But you know what? It's been handled really well. There was really good communication and the service on board has been great. A few little niggles, obviously the fact that you don't get a pillow or a blanket or a cushion on this flight I think is a little bit poor. I think BA could certainly look into doing that. And then also things like this, cosmetic issues, those are the first things you see when you board an aircraft and often the thing that remains with you quite some time. I mean, you guys have seen quite a lot of pieces to camera from me in this video and I'm pretty sure this little scratch down the side of the counter there is annoying you just as much as it is me. So those kind of things can be fixed. But on board today, BA at its best, led by in-flight manager Doug and his team. Everybody's really worked hard and just been super friendly and super hospitable. I've been really well looked after. And yeah, let's see what Barajas throws at me today. Normally, there's some form of chaos on the ground. Hopefully, this is the one time in the last few years I've landed into Madrid where everything goes well. But we all know now I've jinxed myself. So, from 38,000 feet as we start our descent into Madrid Barajas, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next week. So on the whole, a pretty decent service delivery from BA today, and certainly an elevated one. Flying the gift that is a wide-body 777 with club suites is a significant step up from the usual narrow-body aircraft that typically operates these Club Europe routes. There were, however, a few missed opportunities, as we've discussed. The lack of a pillow and blanket in business class, the poor noise-cancelling headphones, and some cosmetic wear and tear around the cabin. But these are relatively easy fixes and were for the most part overshadowed by the incredible work of Doug and his team on board. Friendly, approachable, knowledgeable and enthusiastic, they were exactly the kind of cabin crew that makes an experience feel warm and memorable. I'd have happily have spent a few extra hours on board, which perhaps proves that added comfort really can elevate even the shortest of journeys into something more. Good on you, BA, and long may the wide-body jet continue flying on these short-haul routes. Liking, sharing and subscribing helps me more than you'll ever truly realise, so thank you so much to those who've done it, and if you haven't subscribed, click the little icon and join me on a journey each week somewhere around the world.